Alrighty, folks, welcome to the Crypto Cowboy Show. This is January, the third week in January. All the crypto news. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. Like I said, it's the Crypto Cowboy Show. I'm J. Scott McMillan, your crypto cowboy for the day. We're going to look at all the crypto news for the third week in January. So let's get started. Of course, this is not financial advice. Nothing I say on this show is financial advice. Seek out your appropriate financial advisor if you're looking for financial advice. This is crypto education. All right, so let's take a look at the crypto market here. We had the Cointucky Derby starting last week with the Bitcoin ETFs. I think that's kind of funny. And we got all these different traditional finance companies that are now vying for all of your money to be put into the Bitcoin ETFs. And if you're holding Bitcoin, you're pretty happy about this because with all of this demand coming in, there's only so much supply. And if you got a lot of demand, not so much supply, you know what's going to happen. All right. Last Thursday was the first day that all of these different Bitcoin ETFs could be traded. And according to Eric Balchunas, which he's an ETF guru, he said on the first day we had 4.6 billion. It was a new day one record for all of ETFs, any ETF that's ever been alive. And although there are some speculation, a lot of this came from existing holders switching out of the Grayscale fund. We're going to talk about that in a minute because there was a lot of concern because Bitcoin's price didn't go up like a lot of people thought it would, which it probably shouldn't have. But there was a couple things that I don't think a lot of people realized that were going to happen, and that was one of them. So anyways, Grayscale, the GBTC Trust or ETF, led the way with 2.3 billion in volume. BlackRock was next with 1.1 billion, and Fidelity came with 710 million. So there were 700,000 individual trades across all the Bitcoin ETFs, and that's twice the amount of numbers of traders of the QQQ, which is the ETF that tracks the NASDAQ. So it actually was a really successful ETF launch, even though a lot of people were concerned because Bitcoin price didn't go up. But we'll talk about that some more. All right, we got into problems here with Mr. Gary Gensler. He put out a tweet before the ETF went in there, and he said yes, that he granted yes to having the Bitcoin ETF approved. I can just see him when he was doing that, when he gritting his teeth, because as these few tweets here point out, he's basically saying that those offering crypto assets investments may not be complying with applicable law, and including the federal securities law, investors in crypto assets and securities should understand that they may be deprived of key information and other important protections in connection with their investment. It's just blah, blah, blah. What was he trying to do here? Bottom line is his hand was forced to bring in these Bitcoin ETFs because so many traditional financial organizations wanted it because they were going to make a ton of money on fees. And so he's always had this view that he's going to crack down on crypto. And again, I'm going to say it because this is what I believe, but I don't have a lot of proof. But a lot of people in the crypto community and a lot of other people are beginning to understand that Elizabeth Warren has a lot of pull. And she's got this group of people that are trying to protect us, but they think that by denying us the freedom to invest and be in a financial asset that we want to be, knowing the concerns, knowing the risks, that it's not safe and that she's going to protect us. Again, we don't need her protection. We're all adults here. We know what we're doing. We know what we're getting into. And we don't need the SEC to protect us, especially if they're going to deny us the availability to do what we want with our money and invest it in what we want to invest in. Anyways, And you know what? I don't even have too much a problem with that because, again, the SEC has been around a long time. They are in charge of securing, protecting investors from unscrupulous financial actors that may be trying to take advantage of us. And in generally, that's a good idea. But what's happening is that they're trying to force a law, a securities law that was created some 90 years ago, and trying to apply that to crypto. And it just doesn't make any sense because do you think that we might have invented some new technology that might be better than what they might have had 90 years ago? Yeah. And it's called crypto. So them trying to apply this law from 90 years ago to crypto, it doesn't make any sense to anybody that's rational thinking, but there's hidden agendas. Excuse me. There's hidden agendas, and those hidden agendas are being played out in front of us. But again, when there's a lot of money to be made, like there is with the Bitcoin ETF, and traditional finance is caught up and figure out a way how they can make a lot of money in crypto, then there's going to be the powers that be to make that happen. And that's what happened here. So anyways, Gary Gensler, he's going to have to move on. And so now we're moving on to the ETH ETF, which a lot of us hope will now become another ETF. Will give investors another option to invest in another crypto asset. But the SEC's actually put a hold on that for undetermined time. So it's going to be probably March again before they're going to even look at that, the ETH ETF. So more to come on that. We'll see what happens. All right. So I think this is funny because there's a lot more soap opera that came out, and Vanguard actually blocked its customers from buying any Bitcoin ETFs. And they say that they don't fit with Vanguard's investment philosophy. Also, Citibank, Edward Jones, UBS, Merrill Lynch, they also blocked their customers from accessing these Bitcoin ETFs. And it's hard to believe that we've got these companies that, again, are probably being forced or coerced by Elizabeth Warren and this group of lawmakers that are trying to protect us. That's what they say, but they're really trying to control us. And so I just think it's crazy. So here's some funny memes that kind of respect this. It's like investors want the spot Bitcoin ETF, but you got the big pink blob like Vanguard saying no. And of course, you've seen this meme over here about the Fidelity and the guy at his 401k, and there's Vanguard saying, no, nope. So anyway, it's silly. So Robinhood has said that they're going to get in. Vlad Tenoff, the CEO of Robinhood, said that the firm will begin offering spot Bitcoin ETF as quickly as it can. So he says that's exciting update. He says that as a pioneer in offering spot crypto trading, Robinhood is thrilled about the SEC's decision to approve the spot Bitcoin ETF. And he said, we're ahead of the curve in crypto assets, and we plan to list these ETFs on Robinhood as soon as possible. This milestone enhances the integration of cryptocurrencies with traditional finance. It not only offers clarity, but also offers avenues for sophisticated risk management tools that benefit our customers in managing their digital asset. Kind of an interesting statement because, again, I'm not a fan of using apps like Robinhood or Cash App to invest in crypto. If you want to do these with the ETFs, that's fine because ETFs are really hiding all the complexities of the crypto market anyways. And again, this product, for most of us that are probably listening to this channel, if you've already invested in crypto, you're into crypto, you aren't that concerned with the ETFs. You might be, and you know that you have friends and relatives that probably are interested in Bitcoin, but don't want to learn what it's about and don't want to maybe go through some of the hoops that you have to do currently to actually invest in crypto, like getting onto a crypto exchange and then connecting your bank account to it and buying the Bitcoin and then transferring it over to your personal wallet, which can all take steps that are a little bit more difficult than just going to your local bank. But this is what crypto is now. Now it'll get easier and easier, and it has to adopt more people. But right now we have this unique opportunity to, with a little bit of patience, we can get a much, much higher return than anything that we can get in traditional finance. A little bit more risk, but there are ways to mitigate your risk in crypto. You just have to learn what they are and practice patience and do a little testing instead of buying and transferring $1,000 of Bitcoin into your self-custody wallet or to somebody else to their wallet. You might want to do it with $1 or $2 just to make sure that you've got that all figured out and that the transaction goes smoothly. And once you've done it once or twice, then it's a no-brainer. Then you can transfer the $1,000 over. I was in a group this week, and it was sad because some guy was sent about $50,000 worth of Bitcoin, so a little bit over 1 Bitcoin, and he didn't specify how to do it or whatever. The guy sent it to him, and he didn't use the correct Bitcoin network. He tried to send Bitcoin over the Ethereum network, and it doesn't work right now, today, basically. There are ways around it. But anyways, he basically lost this crypto. And what we actually found out was that the guy probably was a scam anyways. I think he had applied for some sort of grant, and they said, you won the grant, and here we're going to fund you this 1 Bitcoin for your business. Looked like it was a scam. But the problem was he didn't know how to ask the guy to transfer it. And then when the guy was telling him all these hoops to jump through, he just followed and did it. And now he can't get this Bitcoin, and we looked at it, and we don't even think it's Bitcoin in the first place. It probably was some fake, asset. The point I'm trying to make here is that the thing about crypto is that it's a wonderful way now to own your own assets. It's where no one can touch them. No bank can close them down or seize your assets, and it's safe. Once it's in your self-custody wallet, you're the only one that has access to it. The only problem is if you lose your keys or you lose your access to your crypto wallet. But if you can hold on to something and be responsible to keep your assets, something that's extremely valuable, then you can earn much greater return, have it more safe and secure than anything into a bank, and you're in an asset that never deflates or can never be devalued like the dollar. Every time they print more money, the value of your dollar goes down. So anything that you're in dollars, including stocks, because they're valued in dollars, the value goes down every single year. So this is what I love about crypto. But these ETFs now, though, are making it easier for the people that don't understand crypto, and they're now making it easier so that you can get exposure to the upside of crypto. Now, Bitcoin right now is still very volatile. It was 69,000 2 years ago, and it dropped down to 19,000. But now it got its way back up in 2023 to about 42,000 right now. And that was before any of these ETFs were created. So now there's going to be a lot more demand because you've got all of these 401ks, you got all these financial advisors with retirement portfolios. They could not have their clients invest in crypto at any time before. But now with these very simple ETF mechanisms on any exchange, you just log into your Fidelity or your Schwab account, or you have your financial advisor do it for you. And now it's very simple. Now you're going to pay fees on it. So you're not going to do as well as if you actually bought the Bitcoin yourself and held it yourself, but at least you're going to get exposure to a very high performing asset now that almost everybody in the traditional financial industry agrees is a valuable asset now that can be really positive in any portfolio. So this is good for Robinhood to do this, except for I don't believe we should use Robinhood. If you're going to buy your ETF, go through your broker. If you're not willing to go through and buy your own Bitcoin on a crypto exchange like Coinbase or Binance, then you probably should just go through a financial advisor and do it. And get the ETF, put a bit of that into your portfolio, and kind of be done with it. And when you're ready, I would highly suggest that you learn how to actually buy the Bitcoin yourself, because you're going to save all those fees. You're going to have all the control of it. Nobody can deny you access to it or tell you what to do with it. You own it flat out, right? So that was a rant. It was a little bit of a news, but a rant at the same time. All right, so we're looking at, again, we're going to talk about why is the price stagnant? Because with all this demand, all this new money coming in, wouldn't the price go up? There's a lot of factors that go into play. Again, typically crypto is instantaneous transactions. Instantaneous, is that a word? Instant. nearly instant transaction speeds. But now you've got all of these financial institutions with all of these different layers in the system that can take a day or two to actually settle the transactions. You had people putting money into these ETF funds with the brokerage account, but they weren't actually buying the Bitcoin for days later. And there's a lot of inefficiency now that crypto didn't used to have. It was very efficient. And now the network is still efficient. It's just what's happening to the price of the ETFs, the price of Bitcoin, because things aren't flowing directly one to one. And I think the issue here is that you had Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and it was the only way that anybody in the traditional financial market, or not the only way, but one of the main ways that you could get exposure to Bitcoin was through this trust. And so you'd buy a share of this trust, but once you were in there, you couldn't sell it. And so that was just one of their rules, and so it was locked up. Grayscale has been petitioning the SEC to transfer that or turn that trust into an ETF, and it's been denied. But finally, it has been allowed now by the SEC, along with a whole bunch of other ETFs like BlackRock and what we've been talking about. But what we have here is to move that Bitcoin from the trust accounts, the shares that they have, into the ETF, they've got to sell all this Bitcoin to do it. They've got to sell it and then rebuy it and move it into this new ETF Grayscale account, basically. And they had 628,000 Bitcoins that they've got to get rid of. And when I say got to get rid of, it means they've got to, the customers that want to transfer into their ETF product now have to sell that. So there's a lot of selling pressure coming into the market along with the buy. So right now, I think it's going to take a couple of weeks to just have all this newness coming into the Bitcoin network or to the crypto network that we haven't seen before. So things aren't making as much sense. You'd think with all this demand coming in, you'd have higher prices, but there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. But you can see by this chart, you can see that there's still huge volume. We've got volume that we haven't seen in a long time. So the demand is there. The price will go up. It has to. It's just laws of physics, supply and demand, and it eventually will. So we're just going to have to wait till things shake out a little bit, and this will hopefully settle down in a couple of weeks, and I think we'll start to see the price of Bitcoin gradually move up. I don't think it's going to go shooting up. I think it'll gradually move up. I think that's really good for all of us. I think with the Bitcoin halving coming up in April, which again is going to now there's less supply, because when the Bitcoin halving happens, basically the miners that get rewarded in Bitcoin, it's now about 6.25 Bitcoin that get rewarded. That's going to get cut down to 3.17, something like that, Bitcoin. So again, the supply is going to go down, but we still have all this demand coming. So I think we're going to have a lot of pressure to push the price up. And when the price of Bitcoin goes up, it lifts all the boats. All the other cryptocurrencies are going to go up too. And that's where the real magic may come in, is finding which altcoins are actually going to start to really go up, because their market caps are so much smaller that you can have a 100x, 1000x times your investment in some of these altcoins versus Bitcoin. I've got majority of my investment holdings in Bitcoin. And so, yeah, it's going to go up, but it's not going to go up 100x. I've also got some altcoins that I'm investing in that could easily go up 100x, and I could, make 1,000% or, on my return. So looking forward to that. All right, moving on. So now this is going to show us exactly which assets. And as you can see, Bitcoin had year-to-date inflows of 1,255. So again, all of the different cryptos are getting more inflows to it. You've got Ethereum with 55. Solana actually went down a bit, which is interesting, but it's going to come back. Binance was even, and then you've got just a little bit of these more inflows coming in. But again, total inflows for the week, 1,185 million coming into the crypto market. So it was another good week. So altcoin season is finally here. I've been talking about altcoin season for a while here. Hold on, let me get to this. Okay. I overexposed and put this chart on top of the other one, but we can see here we finally have gotten this line up into the 75. So now we're in altcoin season. And so what this chart shows is that you've got, let's see if I can move my head out of the way here. So you've got this ordinals or ordies that is just gone crazy. But you can see you've got Injective, you've got Say, you've got ICP, and you've got all the way over here, you've got Bitcoin. And so as well as Bitcoin is doing, look at all these different altcoins that are having all-time highs right now. So this is the fun part. This is when, because Bitcoin is rising, because the market is ready, they know that the whole crypto market's going to start to go up, is finding those altcoins, they're going to shoot up by 100x or whatever. Now, I would have never picked this ordy, and who knows, again, if that's going to be there for a week or going to shoot back down next week or whatever. Risky. But you've got the traditional ones, like you've got Solana, you've got Cardano. Here's Cardano. Where is Solana? Solana is in here somewhere. Can't be. You got Polkadot over here. You got Chainlink. You've got a lot of these altcoins that have been around for quite a while. They're all doing pretty good now. They're all going to move up. But the key is which of the altcoins that weren't around last year, that are brand new, that are going to take advantage of the new narrative and either improve on an existing crypto project or be faster or have a new twist, that are really going to take the narrative and shoot up 100, 200, 500x in the next year or two during the bull market. So that's where a lot of the fun is going to be. All right, so this next chart is also showing a little bit about where these ETFs are. So what we're looking at here is all of this Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. You see there, it's got the 581, 274 Bitcoin. So it has all of this Bitcoin that some of it's going to move out of it. I don't know if it's half of it or a quarter of it, but it's going to take a few weeks to move that out, get it back into these other ETFs. So you've got, this is BlackRock over here. You've got Fidelity ETF, and then you can see these are the big players. And then it goes down into some of these other ones that are much, much smaller. But again, we'll see how this plays out in the next couple of weeks. If BlackRock remains one of the highest ETFs that a lot more people are going to come into, that was the anticipation. There's the 800-pound gorilla in the traditional finance, and they've got a lot of weight behind them. They've got a lot of marketing. They've probably got a lot of sales reps that are going to be out there talking to all the different financial advisors out there that are going to be recommending people put in a portion of their portfolio into these ETFs. So we'll see how that goes, but lots and lots of money coming into the network. All right, so here's another reason why there's this sell pressure. So this is the 300 monster of Celsius, GBTC, like I talked about, and then some of those random other ones. So you've got Celsius, which, if you've been following the crypto market, actually went bankrupt in 2022, and last week they announced that they had to rebalance their assets to ensure that some of their creditors got their money. So I think there's 1.6 billion in Ethereum, staked Ethereum that they have that are going to be unstaked. So this is primarily on Ethereum, that there's going to be a lot of sell pressure or some sell pressure in Ethereum. So we might see the Ethereum hold down a little bit. And again, this is crypto sell pressures all over the place. You've got, of course, the Grayscale, which is a sell pressure into Bitcoin. And as Bitcoin goes, the rest of the market follows suit. So we've talked about that already. And then you've got this other random sell pressures, and one of them is Mt. Gox. And so if you're in the crypto lore, one of the early Bitcoin exchanges that came up years and years ago was Mt. Gox, and it got hacked, and a bunch of Bitcoin was confiscated by the hackers, and then the police got it. And so they're starting to unroll some of that and give some of that stolen Bitcoin back to the users, which will probably sell, and that's selling pressure. So it keeps the price down. So Bitcoin miners. So the thing about Bitcoin mining is that the miners have to sell their Bitcoin to buy their electricity, to keep their machines, buy their rigs, buy their whole setup. So they're right now, since the price of Bitcoin is still a little bit lower, they got to sell it so that they can pay for electricity, because there's not a lot of overhead, there's not a lot of profit. So as the price of Bitcoin goes up, they don't have to sell as much because they can sell a little bit and then have enough of that profit to run their business. So there's that pushing the price down. What else? We've got, so that there are probably some other factors in there. You've got the different miners in different areas like China and different areas that are slowly moving in and out. There's a lot of Bitcoin miners that were in China 3 or 4 years ago. China banned Bitcoin mining or all Bitcoin, and now they've opened it up again. So again, the Bitcoin mining community is moving around a little bit. So just a lot of uncertainty right now. There's really no need to panic because there's still all that demand out there. We still have the halving coming up. There's lots of great new altcoin projects that are coming online. So this is just the market just resettling, rebalancing a little bit. So not much in there. I don't have a DeFi project today, but let's see what we got for NFTs. Okay, here's a fun one. So this is a new airdrop, play to airdrop, which no one's really ever, I've never heard of that before. And there's a lot of buzz right now about airdrops. And of course, airdrops are basically when a new project comes online, they will have people use the protocol, use the applications in the network. And what they're going to do is then reward their most loyal users with free tokens that will be airdropped to them. And so a lot of people now are looking to do this, and you don't have to put a lot of money into these protocols, but you can put a couple $100 and make some transactions. Whether you really love this protocol and you're going to use it every day or not, if you do this, it's called airdrop farming, and you can be rewarded with these free money, basically. So this is cool because it's a game. So now we've got this token called Island, which is Nifty Island's new token that they're going to be dropping. And their protocol is a game. And so there's a lot of hype around it because what they're going to do is you can play this game, and you can either create your own little NFT or character that then can move across the game. Or if you already own, let's say like a Punji Penguin or a Bored Ape or a Cool Cat, it's one of these other really popular NFTs, you can actually bring that NFT into this game and play it as that entity. They're hoping that a lot of people will get hyped about this, that people that are really into NFTs will come in and play this game with the NFT, generate transactions, get people used to the community and the token, and then hopefully get the airdrop token dropped into their wallet by playing. So it's cool. What else do we know about this? So the difference is that they're not pushing it to be a big crypto game like Illuvium. It's a basic little game that people can play, but you can earn these tokens, and that's not so different, but earning tokens. But instead of earning the tokens in the game and you can play with the games, they're actually going to airdrop you these tokens at a certain time. I'm not sure how that really works. But people can engage in the game and get these airdrop tokens. So I'm going to be, I'm not a big gamer, but I do like the whole space of blockchain gaming because you can earn tokens for use in the game or sell them. And in this case, you can play the game and then be airdropped a token for just playing a fun game. So I think that is pretty cool. Well, that's going to wrap it up for crypto news for the third week in January. Of course, we got to end with a couple memes here. And this is just, if you're in crypto, you got to get used to this. This is the life we live. You know, if we sell, of course, the price is going to go up. If we buy, the price is going to go down. And if we just hold on, the price is just going to go flat and go sideways. So this happens in any investing, but with the volatility of crypto, sometimes people get frustrated with this. But if you understand, and it always isn't like this, it's going to go up, it's going to go down, physics, laws of physics, and you've just got to be patient and just play those moves up. When the price is down low, buy more and be prepared that as the price goes up, at some point, sell and take some profits. It's not that hard, but it's hard to take profits and sell when the price is going up. But you've got to do that if you want to, not just do this as a hobby and then ride it all the way down. This is a funny theme because you've got the meme coin Pepe, which is just a fun little meme now. And the colors on here are weird. I don't know. I've got to figure out why. Because Pepe's green, and on the screen here, he's a grayish color. I don't really know what's going on with that. And then he's mining. One of the funny sayings. Let's see if I wrote down this saying. No, but is mining meme coins or mining something in there. So I think that's funny. And of course, we've got this one, the Bitcoin ETF approval, and GBTC holding us back, saying, no, we've got to sell all this Bitcoin first before the price goes up. So again, the market's going to shake out. I'm not worried. So thank you, everybody, for watching the show today. And again, next week we'll have more crypto news on what's happening with Bitcoin, what's happening in the whole crypto space, and stay tuned for more Crypto Alpha on the Crypto Cowboy Show, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.